Hey guys, thanks for chiming in. We're about to go live. Sorry, I realized I was live for a second without even knowing it. Hey everyone, thank you so much for chiming in. Glad you're all here. So, my name is John Meese. I am the co founder of Notable Themes, and today we're going to be talking about how to build a speaker website. So, I'm really excited to have you here. So, those of you that are just chiming in, go ahead and comment. I would love to know, comment in the chat box just beneath this video. Where are you calling in from? I would love just to get a sampling of who we have here. So, me personally, I'm actually calling in from Columbia, Tennessee, which is just south of Nashville or Franklin, Tennessee. And I'm in my office here with a great view of the square downtown. It's an old historic town right here. So I'm calling from Columbia, Tennessee. So let's see who else we got. We've got people calling in from, oh, I lost the chat. Um, let's see, we've got Medford, Oregon, Los Angeles, Idaho, South Carolina, all over the place. That's awesome. Georgia. So that's one of the things I love about doing workshops like this, just seeing like the sampling of people that come in. We've got Jacksonville, Florida. We've got people from both coasts, if my geography is correct, already on the workshop, and we're just getting started. So we're going to start in just a couple minutes actually digging into the content. But I assume if you're here that you're either a speaker or you're interested in becoming a speaker. And that's what we're excited to talk about today, because Podium is a WordPress theme we've developed, or essentially a website template that we've developed specifically to help you get booked and paid to speak, to book paid speaking engagements. And so today in the workshop, we'll be talking about why that's the case and how it works, and we'll dig through all of that. Let's see who else we've got. That's right, we've got Wichita, Kansas. Uh-oh. Patty says that there is a delay and my words do not match my lips. That's not good. I'm curious, are any of you is anybody else having that same issue? If so, if you wouldn't mind, first try just hitting refresh on the page at notablethemes.com/live and then hit play and see if it's still an issue. But I want to make sure y'all can hear me well and that we're not. Uh, okay, good. It looks like it's working for Daniel. So yeah, if you guys have any audio or video issues, just restart. Sometimes YouTube Live is a little funky for whatever reason. And so that's just the way it is. Cool. So we got other people coming in from Georgia, Utah, Oregon. Wow, that's awesome. So we have people from all over. All right. So let me go ahead and start. But first of all, just welcoming you all, just thanking you for taking time on your day to learn about this. I know that there is a ton of content out there. There's a ton of tools for building your speaking business, building your online business, building your website platform, and it can get a little overwhelming. And that's actually why we started Notable Themes. So I want to start by actually just telling you just a quick summary of who we are, because if you're coming from Grant Baldwin's audience, then you may or may not know who I am, John Meese. And then Daniel Goldak, you'll see him in the chat. He's actually on our support team, and so he's also helping out today. And we're part of Notable Themes. So let me share with you my screen, and you'll see this is where Notable Themes. So Notable Themes is a WordPress theme that I'm sorry, it's a WordPress theme company, not a WordPress theme by itself. So Notable Themes is a WordPress theme company that we created to solve the problem of people who essentially want to create an online platform but don't want to mess with all the technical stuff. And so we created this because we love WordPress, but really we love being able to give someone a template they can use to create a website without having to worry about all the technical stuff that comes along with that. Because that, for me, was the most overwhelming part when I started building my online business, was just the amount of technical work involved. So this is our team right now. You'll see myself, John. I am one of the co-founders of Notable Themes, and Thomas, you'll see right there in the middle. He is our branding, design, development genius. And so him and I founded Notable Themes together because he has a design and development eye that is unparalleled. I have not met anyone else that has that same level of detail and skill in one person. And then Daniel we brought on because very quickly we started growing to the point where I couldn't keep up with all of the support myself, and Thomas was busy doing design development. So we brought Daniel on as our customer success advocate to constantly be looking for new and improved ways that we can serve our customers. And so that's his role. So that's just kind of the short summary version of who we are at Notable Themes. But I know what you guys really want to do is you want to get right into the content. And so I want to give you a preview of what we're going to do today. So if you haven't seen it already, I'm going to go over here to the Podium sales page. If you click on View Demo here, all right, so this is the demo website for Podium that we put together. And oh, by the way, I will say, if you have questions at any point during this workshop, go ahead and post them in the chat. Daniel's going to be making a note of those as we go through, and then I'm going to circle back around once we've built a demo website from scratch. I'm going to circle around and start answering all of your questions. So as a question comes up, feel free to pop it in the chat immediately, and I may not answer it right then, but I will when we come back to the Q&A later on. Okay, so this is an example of what a finished website looks like with Podium, this WordPress thing that's built for speakers. Now, you'll see right here, big headline, prominent demo video, call to action, some Latin text here. For those of you that don't know, this is kind of like just kind of standard filler text. And it's a scrolling website where the menu follows you. It allows you to click around to jump to specific areas of the form or of the website. So this is a beautiful, this is a professional, very clean website. But what I want to do today is I want to show you how you can create one of these for yourself very quickly. So this is what we're starting with, people. This is a demo website where I put together, and I've installed Podium, and all I've done here is just change the color, right? So instead of green, it's a blue. But obviously there's no content here. And so we're going to be going through and creating a speaker website from scratch on this website. Can we do it? Well, I'm live and you're watching, so you'll find out soon. I'm pretty sure we can do this because I will say we have gone through and And we've tested this with multiple demos and beta customers before we get to this point. But I want to show you it's possible, and then you can watch the entire process because I want to be able to take away the overwhelm that normally you experience anytime that you are getting ready to build a website. It's so common for people to just get overwhelmed with the audience. Should I use WordPress? Should I use Squarespace? Should I use Wix? What the heck is Blogspot? And then from there, the question people usually end up spending hours or days or weeks or even months working on their website before actually launching their business, which in this case, we're talking about a speaking business. But in other cases, this could be a blog or a podcast or self-published book. So there's all of that. So this right here is what Podium looks like when you first install it. It's pretty basic, right? You don't have a lot of options here. This is the front end. I'm going to go into the back end here, and I want to show you when you, since I've already installed this, already did the first step, but basically all you do when you first install the theme is you're immediately brought to this theme settings section, and all you do is you activate your license key, and then you're ready to go. So here, you can click here to jump over to edit the actual backend of the theme itself. What I'm going to do is my favorite is actually to use a feature that WordPress comes with built in that we've actually built all of our themes to work with this feature, and it's called the WordPress Theme Customizer or Appearance Customizer. So if you hover over Appearance here in the backend of your WordPress website, if you're using Podium, you'll also see the setting on any other WordPress website, but how it works will work a little bit differently. We're going to go down here and click Customize. So what this does is this pulls up a live preview of your website with all of your settings on the left-hand side. And here in the center is a preview of your website. Now, if you make any changes, let's just say, for example, I wanted to go ahead and just change the color to like a lime green. You will see this change happen live here, but it won't happen on the front end of your website. So this is really helpful when you're just getting started out, so you can see a preview and see things change as you do them. But also later, when you're making changes to your website, then it's really helpful to be able to do this. Like if you already have an existing website and you already have people looking at your website, you don't want them to see a half-finished product. So of course, you can always click here, jump back to the default. Or what I'm doing in this example is I've picked a specific color that I want to use. It's a blue. All right, so you'll see here, the first thing you see when you go down, let's go down these settings one by one. So you've got site identity. This is really, you just pick the title of your website, which if you're a speaker, this could just be your name. So in my case, it might be John Meese. And the tagline is something you want. This is going to appear on the top of the tab for most people who are on your website. So in this case, your tagline might be, you know, the motivational speaker you need for your next event or something like that. I mean, your options are pretty basic here, but this does not appear on the front end of the website, but this does appear on things like search engines. So going back over here, color palette, you'll see five different color options here. So you've got a primary color, secondary color, tertiary color, base color, and canvas color. So we've made this simple intentionally. So what you need to do when you're creating a new WordPress website is typically, depending on what theme you're using, you'll go into a dozen different locations to change your colors to say, well, I want this thing to be green, this thing to be red, that kind of, and you can honestly, I have on other themes that I've used before we started Notable Themes, I literally have spent days just going through and updating my color settings across the entire website. Here we've done is made it very simple. We do this for all of our themes where we just say, look, this is your choice. What's your primary color? In this case, my primary color is blue. And you'll see as we build out the rest of this theme, that updates a number of different areas or different fields all throughout the website. Secondary color, same idea. You'll want these to be colors that they actually contrast each other a little bit, because the secondary color you'll see is like things like the buttons or the links. And then of course, your actual base color is probably going to be some sort of black. Canvas is some sort of white. Now you'll see this actually isn't a pure black. It's more of an off black, but it's a similar idea. So I just want to show you that as an example. Well, you'll see how this actually affects the website as we go in and build it out. But you also have typography settings that is integrated directly with Google Fonts, which has a massive library of literally hundreds of different fonts you can choose from. And so if you go to the Google Fonts website, I'll just bring it up for an example. You'll see a number of different fonts you can use to figure out, okay, what do I want my website to look like? And then over here you have options. You can just go through here and be like, you know what? I really want mine to look like this. I want it to look like Griffey. Okay. You know, that's an example of what Griffey looks like. It's pretty almost like Halloweenish. So we can just hop back over here and look for Griffey, and it should update directly in the preview. Now we don't have a lot of content down here yet, so I'm not sure how much will actually change. But there you go. So you see, I wouldn't recommend using this font. As you can see, it's kind of difficult to read, but I just wanted you to see the options here, and that we've created a default theme that is beautiful and it is effective, and it's modeled after, successful speaking pages that other people are already using. But you don't actually have to follow the you don't actually have to follow the default exactly. You have options here to pull in anything from Google Fonts, and that means that you have hundreds of options that are all designed to work on many different devices. Okay, so let's pop back over here to the topography, the preview. That is one downside to using the theme customizer. It takes a little longer to load, just simply because every time you make a change, this area right here is essentially reloading your entire website. So, but I think it's worth it. So there aren't any major needs for imagery in this theme other than the background image, which you might not have noticed at first, but now that you see this picture, you'll see right here, there's a little podium with the microphone sticking out in a crowd in the background. This is just a faded picture that appears in the background throughout the entire website. And of course, you can change that if you want, or you can just use the default. And then transitions, this is you probably won't need to mess with it. This is essentially how quickly does the color change on a link when you hover over it. And then we're going to be talking about menus in a minute. So we're down to the widget section here. And this is actually where we want to spend the vast majority of our time, because this is how you build the entire website. Now, if you've ever used a WordPress website before, you may be familiar with widgets, because typically widgets are what you see in the sidebar of a website. So pop over to my blog just as an example. On the front end of my website, you will see over here on the right-hand side, these little boxes, right? So there's one that just says make money blogging. You got an email opt-in. Then you have a bio box. This is a little about me widget, and then a little ad for notable themes. My podcast is in here. So each of these are widgets in the back end. And traditionally, widgets appear in the sidebar of a WordPress website. But the way widgets are built is very flexible from a developer's perspective. So what we've done is we have built this entire theme on top of the widgets framework. So you don't have to, if you have any familiar with WordPress, you don't have to learn a new system for dragging and dropping and building pages. Essentially, this entire website is this front page is one big area for widgets. So, and what does that mean? It's a good question. Rhetorical, I guess I asked it myself. But if you click add widget here, you'll see a number of different options here. Now, the items which appear as white with black text with just a white background, these are default widgets that come with WordPress. They come with every WordPress installation. Technically, you can use any of these, but I'm not going to in today's example, because what we're going to use are these widgets, which are highlighted in a sort of beige tan background. And that's simply to call them out as specific to Podium. And you'll see that's also in the name here, is these are widgets which come with a theme that you can't get any way else. They don't come with other themes. They don't come built in with WordPress. So we're going to go through and actually design this website by going down section by section. And again, if you have any questions, post those in the chat. Daniel's going to take a note of those, and we will circle back around and answer those questions in the Q&A section. Okay, so now this seems a little odd, and I'll go ahead and show you. This may seem a little odd, it doesn't to me, but we'll jump over to the demo site. I want to show you just kind of, again, like what the finished site should look like roughly. I'm not going to create an exact duplicate of this. I'm actually going to create one that's a little bit more really filled with actual copy instead of Latin. So if we scroll down to the very bottom, we'll see everything's kind of built around this whole contact form. So that's like, this is where your whole goal of a speaker website is to get people to actually start the conversation. And that's really what we built this around, is the whole idea of conversion, of focused conversion. It's very easy to create, to spend a mass amount of time building a blog audience and an email list and social media following, which are all great, but they don't actually benefit your speaking business. So we designed this theme assuming that speaking is your primary focus. This is the primary focus of this website. Now, we can talk at the end in the Q&A about other ways you can use Podium, but I just want you to know the framework we're coming from. So the main thing you want people to do is you want them to start the conversation. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to start with the end in mind, and we're going to create the contact form first. So let's see, contact form. We're going to want to go ahead and give this a name. So it just could be contact me. navigation title, and this is essentially, you'll see this an option in every one of the widgets. This is what should the menu say along the top that links to this contact form. So I'm just going to put that as contact. All right, and that should, oh, I'm going to go ahead and change this to the primary color scheme. And I'm not going to add any special code here. I'm just going to use the built-in form, but I am going to add some form instructions here. And so I'm just copying and pasting this right here, to be fair. But essentially what I've done here is I've just written a 2-sentence, hey, want to learn more about having me speak at your event? Let's start the conversation. Just enter some basic information in the contact form below to send me an email. And look, that is it. Now, this, obviously the website is not done. This is just the contact form, but you can already see how this is actually incredibly easy to use. But also, if you've ever messed with other WordPress websites, and if you haven't, don't stress out about this. But if you have, typically you have to install some sort of third-party plugin to actually get a contact form that works and doesn't look like, well, garbage. But this contact form is actually built into the theme. So you don't need any extra plugins to make this work. If you want to use a third-party form of some kind, like Typeform, or some people like, can't remember what it's called, but there's a lot of different survey platforms. Oh, SurveyMonkey. You can use those, or, like a contact form, like maybe just a button from Calendly to schedule an appointment. You can put custom code here, and that's going to work just fine. But in this case, I'm just going to use the built-in plugin. All right. So, okay, so let's see. The next step that we're going to do is we're actually going to go back up to the top, and we're going to go ahead and create our, it's called the hero area. Now, this is the first thing people see. Now, here's a cool trick too. Right here, these widgets right here. Right now, we've got the contact form at the top, and the hero area is beneath it, although there's nothing in it. All we have to do to reorder them is drag, and that's it. No code, no copying and pasting, just drag and drop. All right, so let's put the headline here, and I'm going to go ahead and create this demo website as if I was creating this for Grant Baldwin. So the first thing you want to put is your headline, and your headline should be some sort of transformation. And what I mean by that is it's something you're selling to either the event themselves or the event organizer. What is it that they get when you come and speak to their audience? So in this case, I'm going to put fire up the crowd, right? Now here, we don't need a navigation title. We don't need a menu piece of this because this is the first thing at the top of the website. So we don't need people to click to scroll there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and make this a primary color scheme. And you saw with the contact form, what that does is that essentially gives the this specific area the blue background with the photo. And we can actually, just to show you the other option, we're going to use this in a minute, but we have a secondary color scheme too, which has sort of the off-white, going like beigeish section. And then we have the default, which is really just white with text on top. So we're going to use each of these sections differently, and different styles in different orders to switch things up a bit. All right, so we've got the primary color scheme here. Fire up the crowd. A subheading. Now, this is where you'll probably put your name as a speaker. So in this case, I'll put with Grant Baldwin, motivational speaker. And this is prominent. You want your name up there at the top. You want your name up there at the top. Very obvious. The first thing someone sees when they come to your website. So, and then you want to actually go ahead and put a demo video here. Now, obviously, if you don't have a demo video yet, that's okay. You can put a photo here. You can leave it blank. And that's part of the beauty of this theme, is that it's very flexible, but it's designed with best practices. And then essentially, I mean, even if you can just do 80% of the best practices, you're already doing much better than most speakers out there. So, or wannabe speakers. So this video embed code, I'm going to copy and paste this from YouTube. And this is just literally like, if you click inside of YouTube, there is, inside of YouTube, they give you this embed code, which is, so I'm just copying and pasting. Don't get overwhelmed by the HTML. But every video platform gives you something like this. So if you use Vimeo or Wistia or YouTube, all you have to do is just copy and paste the embed code, and it'll appear prominently inside of your existing website here. So this is Grant's speaker demo video. It's got him talking in front of people, looking really animated. He's excited. Samples. And, Grant has more training on what exactly should be in your demo video, but this is the reason why this is so prominent is because most event coordinators, when they're looking for a speaker, they're not looking for a text description of who you are and what you do. They want to know, are you a good speaker? Can you do this? And to do that, they often really prefer to see a demo video. And this is what takes a little extra work, but it sets you apart from other speakers and so allows you to be more successful. All right, so beneath the video, we're going to put a big button here. This is all, so let's see. Oh, okay. So I created the contact form, but you'll see when I pick the drop down menu, there's nothing here except for a custom URL. And I forgot about that. That's one of the tricks with using the theme customizer is you do have to essentially, what I'm going to do here is because it's a demo website that nobody's going to visit, then it doesn't hurt to go ahead and publish it. Although I suppose you could visit this and you can actually go to alwaysbeteaching.com at any point and see the website that I'm creating as we go. Um, so I'm going to go ahead and click save and publish. It's going to go ahead and publish what I've done so far. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm going to have to refresh the screen to be able to see in the drop-down menu that contact form. Because that's important because we want to be able to link everything. We basically want to link different areas of the website together. Okay, so that's saved. You can see it's gray now. We're going to click refresh. There we go. And remember, we were in the widget section. So I'm going to pop back over there. And the widgets will come back in a second. Just takes a moment to load. There we go. Okay, so front page. And here we are. All right, so the fire up the crowd, scroll down. And there we go. If we click this CTA navigation drop down, and just in case you don't know, CTA stands for call to action. And so I want basically the question is, what do you want people to do next? Well, I want them to contact me after they see this video. So we're going to go ahead and put this here to say start the conversation. And that's going to create a big button right here just beneath the video. Now, one of the things we can also do, and this is built in, and again, one of the things that's nice about this is a lot of the stuff is built into the theme itself. So you don't have to custom build it. So what I want to do now is I want to, where is that? I bet you have to do this first. Okay, so we're going to create basically an icon to appear on the button. And let's see, the button should appear now. Just make sure I didn't miss any steps. We got the headline, we don't need a title, we've got a section style, subheading, video embed, call to action, everything. There we go. There's the start the conversation button. So this little icon right there, you see the little talk bubble? That is one of the features that's built into this theme, which is that you can pull any icon over from a website that's called Font Awesome. And they have a whole library of icons which are free to use. And by icons, I literally just mean like little tiny images. So you can see there's a bunch of different options here on their website, like an X or a thermometer or a shower or a podcast symbol or a handshake. So you'll see as we go through these, there are other examples. So all you do when you find one you want to use is you just copy and paste. Like, let's just say, for example, we wanted this button to have an anchor on it. Well, we would just copy and paste it, or in this case, just type anchor, and that icon should switch out. And that's built into the theme. So no extra plugins, no extra code to get that icon there. All you have to do is copy and paste the name, and we automatically pull the icon off of the Font Awesome website. So anchor doesn't really make sense in this context. So I'm going to go back to I think that's called the comments, which is the sort of talking bubbles on the start the conversation button. But there we go. We have our hero area now completed. And one thing I really want to stress about this, the reason why we've created this one to be this widget of all of them is to be very simple. One of the reasons is because this is what's called your above the fold area. Now, if you're not familiar with that terminology, all that means is that the first time somebody comes to your website, you want to know, what do they see before they scroll down? And of course, in this example, I'm going to have to scroll because I've got a smaller window. But on the average desktop, when someone's looking at your website, they should see your header title, your name, your demo video, and the big button that says start the conversation, all without having to scroll anywhere. So immediately when they load your website, you've told them exactly what you want them to do, who you are, why they should care. Okay, so we have now finished that hero area. Let's start going into the next section. Now, you can put these in any order, What we typically recommend is the next one be your about section. So if someone's not quite ready to start the conversation, they're going, well, you know what? I want to know a little bit more about this person first. So let's create an about widget. So here we're going to say about Grant Baldwin. You could also say about me. That's fine either way. We're on the menu. We're just going to go ahead and make this about. And this one, I'm going to go ahead and set this to the secondary color scheme. Now we've also got, here's where you want to pick a headshot or a photo that you want to include in the section. So in this case, I'm just going to click select photo, and you'll see we apparently really like Grant because we have a bunch of pictures of him. But we're just going to pick one right here, insert that into the post. And we're also going to need to put some text in here. So let me find you an example. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste them right here. And this is actually taken straight from Grant's about page on his website. So, or from his speaking page on his website. But what this says is, hey, I'm Grant. I've been speaking professionally for 10 plus years now. It's got a little bit of authority in here because he's saying I've given 400 keynote presentations to audiences as large as 13,000. Now, obviously, you, if you're just getting started out, may not have as much authority to give, but you do have some, whether that's the companies you've spoken for or worked for or workshops or your expertise in your area. You do have some expertise, and your goal here is to highlight that and then promise something. In this case, Grant has promised that if you hire him, you get two things: a great experience on stage and a great experience off stage. So that was it. I mean, that was very simple to set up because we've just created that about widget. Now we're going to go ahead and add a couple other things. Essentially, you'll see that if you want to link to any of your social media profiles, which you don't have to, but if you want to give someone an opportunity to get to know you on other platforms, all you have to do is put the link in here. So I'm going to go ahead and I've actually copied these over. So here is the link to Grant's. Well, that's not what you want. That is not the link. All right. So here is the link page, and it's just, this, and this is important that it does include this little HTTP or HTTPS. Every website's a little bit different. So we're then going to go Twitter/Grant Baldwin, and then Instagram. Let's go and do that one too. Now you don't have to know how to type all these. You can just literally open your social media account on your website on your desktop, copy and paste the URL. But I happen to know these off the top of my head. So click these, and you'll notice as I type in each of these URLs, the button appears here just beneath the bio, and it matches the colors of the website. So this is using the secondary color, which is the same color we use the button for, because essentially these are buttons that take you elsewhere. And then there we go. We've just finished the about section. Okay, so the next section, and some of you I know that came in like mid workshop. I just want to say hey and welcome. Thanks so much for coming. My name is John Meese. We're going to go through, and what we're doing right now is I'm creating a custom speaker website from scratch with just a newly installed Podium, which is our new WordPress theme. And I'm doing this because I want to show you it's possible, but also I want to give you an opportunity to ask any questions you have about how you can do the same thing on your own website. And so, of course, at the end, there will be an opportunity for you to buy a copy of Podium if you would like. But even if you don't, I really hope this motivates you to go take the time to build a speaker website that will build your speaking business. Also, one more thing I'll mention is if, I know I mentioned this before, but I know some of you came on mid-workshop. If you have any questions about anything we're doing, about your speaking website, about the theme, about notable themes, any of that, go ahead and post those questions in the chat at any point. And Daniel, our support guy who's in the team, in the chat, he's keeping an eye on those. He is going to copy those and make a note of them. So at the end, when we can circle back to Q&A, I can go through those questions and help you out in this time that we have together. Okay, cool. So back to the website. We have, let's see, right here at the top, we have our hero area already complete. We have a little about widget. And then we have a contact widget. We want to build some more things in between this. And so the next one we actually recommend is beneath your about widget is when you start to actually show off what topics you speak on. Because if you just came to this, all you know is that Grant's a motivational speaker, which is a little bit of specificity, gives you a little bit of an idea, but it doesn't really tell you much more. So we're going to go ahead and add another widget. And this one is going to be here. Let's see. We're going to go topics. There it is. We're going to choose the 3 topics you cover. So we typically recommend 3. Any more than that, studies have shown just kind of people they get distracted from. So if you speak on a lot of different topics, I would recommend summarize them into 3. And so here where we're just going to give this a title, just say most requested topics. Now notice this does imply, hey, these are popular topics, but it also doesn't close the door and say these are the only topics I ever speak on. So I'm going to go ahead and make the menu title say topics. And we're going to leave this one at the default section. And let's see, this probably won't appear until I actually start filling in the topics themselves. So don't worry about the preview just yet. So column 1 heading. And now here you'll see we have 3 columns. Column 1, column 2, and you guessed it, column 3. Now each one of these is meant to just be a speaking topic. So you'll give it a title, a brief summary, and then you'll set up a button just beneath it. So let's go through these. And this first one, I'm just going to say motivation. And we want this to link to the contact form. And we'll just put a little brief summary in here. If you bring me in to speak to your organization, school, or team, you will barely recognize them afterwards because everyone will be so fired up about your goals, your organizational goals. So I just typed this off the top of my head. Obviously, like there's a lot more you can do this, and this varies based on the theme. But I want to give you an example of what this looks like. So you just type a few words or a couple sentences or a paragraph summary of what that topic is: motivation, contact me, and let's go ahead and make the label, or basically what the button says. Let's go ahead and just make that say contact Grant. So, and this is just, remember, this is just where you're choosing where the button takes them, which we want the button to take them down to the contact form because everything is on one page on this website. All right, so column 1 icon. You know what? We don't actually need an icon, so let me just see what this looks like without one. Okay, it's starting to load, so I'm going to go ahead and actually use this opportunity to go ahead and shrink this and reorder it. So I'm going to move this up just beneath the about, above the contact form. You'll see we already have that first topic in there. So it just says motivation is the actual topic itself. And then from there, we have the contact form. You'll jump over here to the demo side, and you'll see an example of what this looks like. Oh, I remember now. So the difference here, the icon, and so this is important. The icon, the important part's not that the icon appears here on the button, but above here, above the topic, if you want to give a theme. So for motivation, for example, let's find maybe something like lightning. There you go. Let's go say the word is bolt. So you'll find that there are hundreds of icons. If you just can think of something, there's probably something related to it. So let's go ahead and go back to the most requested topic section. For that first one, let's go ahead and make it a lightning bolt. And then let's go ahead and just jump into the other one. So life, balance, and fire up the crowd. Now for this one, I would probably put some sort of scale. Let's see, balance dash scale. Okay. Oops, sorry, put that in the wrong place. That should be the icon. This button should just say contact Grant. And the last one I'll put here, the third column, is leadership. And again, this should take you to the contact form. It should say contact Grant. And then from here, let's see what for leadership. I'll go ahead and put, I think there was a handshake is an option for an icon. We saw that one earlier. Yeah, so handshake dash O. Not sure why the O, but that's okay. All right. So we have just created this. I went ahead and just for the sake of time, I didn't fill in these content areas for the other two. And I'll go ahead and take this out. But you get the idea that you can have a summary of your presentation there, your topic there, or you can just put the basic information itself. So this hasn't finished loading yet with the new update. Sometimes the preview takes a minute to load. And so one of the things I do there, it's a little kind of a hack, but I'll just hit spacebar on like a headline. And then for some reason, usually WordPress recognizes that as a change, even if they didn't recognize the rest of it. So that did not update the preview, but let me go back and make sure I didn't mess anything up here. Okay, so we've got motivation, content, contact. This is what it's all about, people. Doing it live. There are pros and cons. And okay, so we got a little loading bar right there. So something is updating. Now it fades. That's a good sign. When this fades over here, that usually means that it's in the process of refreshing the preview. All right, so there we go. Most requested topics: motivation, life balance, and leadership. And you can see now how these icons really illustrate what it means, what each of these themes means and draws attention to it. And even without the summary, if the title itself is self-explanatory, I mean, that's a really solid design. So we've got About widget going directly into the most requested topics. So let's go ahead and finish this website out. We're almost done. So one of the things we want to do here is there's two other sections we want to add. One of them is on testimonials or endorsements. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put this in here, and I'm going to move it just beneath the most requested topics and call it what people are saying. And that one, endorsements. All right, and this one I'm actually going to make the primary color scheme. Now, you'll notice there's not really anything else up to edit here, and I'll show you why. There's a little button here that says, hey, this is where you go when you want to create and publish endorsements. Essentially, when you're creating testimonials or uploading photos, which I'll show you in a second, those are the only things that you do outside of the customizer. So you would actually go over, if you click that link, for example, it'll take you to the back end of WordPress where you'll see I have these endorsements where I went ahead and just put in 4 just before we got started, just for the sake of time. So each of these is really simple. I'll show you what it looks like. So the subject is essentially just the name of whoever the endorsement comes from. And then the title here of it, or the content here is just whatever they said. And then you can upload a featured image of whoever gave the testimonial. Of course, you don't actually have to put an image because you'll see in this example, what I've done is I put 4 different testimonials in here. And these are real testimonials for Grant, right? So Purdue University, I didn't put an image in that one. I felt like just saying the name of the university was enough. So it says Grant spoke to over 5,500 students at our kickoff orientation session and received a huge standing ovation. So there you go. So you can see each of these appears prominently. And that was it. Like we just put the title, what it should say on the navigation, and there's the primary color scheme. So the other one we want to offer is the photos. Now, this is a great way to showcase for example, if you've been speaking at other events, you can have pictures of you speaking and we'll talk about this in a minute, but just speaking themed photos in general, pictures of stages or microphones. It's a great way to really just kind of hit home or whatever topic you speak about. You have so many different options here. So in this case, I'm just going to put photos, and this is a great place to show that you don't need a headline at all on any of these widgets. All you need is to is just basically to create the widget itself. So there's no headline. So when I've done that, you'll see no headline appears here above the photos. And then I'm going to go ahead and leave this one at the default section. And this works similarly to the endorsements in that if you click this link, it's going to take you to another page where you can actually upload photos and you give them a title. The title doesn't actually do anything other than just allow you to be able to pick out each of these photos. So all you do here is you would upload the photo into the photo section, and then the theme automatically displays all of these photos here. So let me double check, but I think we're pretty much done. Oh, that's right. There's one more. So one more widget, and then I'll show you what the live version of this website looks like on the front end. And then we'll get to the Q&A in just a moment. So is this just to share one? And now this is helpful if you have some people come to your website who maybe they're not actually looking for a speaker, but you still want them to have an action they can do. Well, they can share your website with friends and family. So you just check the boxes for which ones, check the boxes for who you want to be able, basically which platforms you want them to see buttons for. I'm just going to leave this at the default section. I'm just going to put the link up in the menu to say share, headline, leave it the default, spread the word. I'll show you what this looks like. So let me go ahead and click save and publish. Takes a moment. And voila. I'm going to go ahead and pull up alwaysbeteaching.com, but you can, of course, do the same in a new tab if you'd like to check it out, because this should be live for all of you now. So I'm going to go to alwaysbeteaching.com, and we'll see, there we go. We have our menu along the top. It's going to be a little bit, I'll see this bar. You won't see this bar, but I just see that just because I'm logged in as an admin. But here we have Fire Up the Crowd with Grant Baldwin, motivational speaker. There's this demo video, which you can click play on. It's very large and prominent. Start the conversation button. This takes us down to the contact form. got a bio followed by most requested topics. Each one of these buttons all take you down, which the whole goal of this website is to get people to actually contact you and start the conversation, because that's where speaking gigs actually get booked. You could technically make this button just be like a button that says schedule, me to book at your event, but speak at your event. But traditionally, actual email conversation back and forth is what finalizes the details. But we have built in the functionality that technically these buttons can lead to wherever you want. So here we have the testimonials, photos. Oh, and here's a cool thing. If you click on any one of these photos, it brings up what's called a light box, which is essentially just a larger version of the image hovering above the website, and people can browse around. And again, this is a feature that typically you have to install a separate plugin to make this happen, but we have this built into the theme. So if you have a lot of pictures here of if you're speaking or at events, or then that can be really helpful. And then there's your contact me form. So I can just go ahead and fill this out, and I'll just show you what it looks like. So John, my name is John. My email address is hey@johnmeese.com. I'm just saying, hey, Grant, would love to talk about having you speak at our event. What do you say? And that's it. Send. So you just saw how this website works. We just built this website from scratch on WordPress using a one-page WordPress theme. There's a thank you message, by the way, in case you're curious. So at this point, I would love to pivot to come back towards answering any questions you have about Podium, about WordPress, about anything about how to build your speaker website, because I want to help you do this. I want to help you accomplish this. So let me bring up the chat. I see we had a few questions come in. All right. Hey, Daniel, if you would go ahead and, all right. Wow. Okay. So you just sent me all the questions. So I'm going to start going through these one by one. First, John Quill says, hey, I bought Mentorus a couple months ago, but I haven't finished setting up yet. If I like this better, can I switch? Yeah. So that would be totally fine. You just basically reach out to Daniel, or reach out to Daniel. Just reach out to hello@notablethemes.com. We can work that out. If you already have another WordPress theme of ours and you want to switch over, we can probably work something out. It may not be a 100% switch. We'll work out something though to figure out how that works. Okay. And here's another one. Mike was having a problem with his theme color scheme. So there was a question about Notable Care. Yes. Okay. So if you want to, so there was a question about Notable Care, and that's one thing I should mention about the WordPress theme itself. And actually, I'll go ahead and bring up the details for the theme sales. Well, okay, I'm going to get to these questions. I'm going to circle back to Notable Care because we're going to talk about that when it comes to once we're talking about different possible ways that you can essentially buy a copy of Podium for yourself, because there's a couple different ways to do that. So here's a question. If using YouTube as the video for the demo reel, is there a way to remove the recommended videos from the end of the video, like how the thumbnails pop up? The short answer is yes, Ashley. There is a way to do that. What you have to do essentially is you don't use YouTube's default embed code they give you. Instead, there's a way you can basically, like if you Google it, there's a different way to embed a YouTube video that automatically removes things like the YouTube branding and the little suggestive videos at the end of that kind of stuff. And our Notable Care support team can help you do that if you'd like. But I've also Googled it before, and so I know that's pretty simple to find. So the short answer is yes, Ashley, you can customize how your video is presented. Okay, so Patty says, can the social media icons, just lost it. So Patty said, can the social media icons be a different color, or are they automatically the secondary color scheme? So there's two sides to this question, I guess, Patty, or the two to the answer, somewhat depending upon your expertise within WordPress or with development. So technically the WordPress theme is built so that the social media icons are the same color as your secondary color scheme. But yes, you can change them to another color, but it would just require a little bit of custom CSS. If you're not familiar with that is, please don't be scared by it. I'm not a programmer or coder at all, but of all of the, HTML, JavaScript, and all that, CSS is the easiest one to use, and it just basically does minor design changes to your to your website. And so technically we have some CSS customization built into the theme. So it'd be pretty easy for you to change any of the defaults. If you don't like the way we have it set up and you wanted, for example, to have all of your social media icons to be a different color than the secondary color scheme, then you would just have to put a line of CSS in there for you. And again, that's probably something that our notable care team could help you with, depending upon how advanced you want to make it. As long as all the icons are the same color, that should be pretty simple. Okay, so by the way, keep posting questions in here, guys. I love helping you guys out and answering these questions. And so I think we have enough time. We should be able to get through all of these. Okay, so Gianni says, I have an intro video and would love to have it start dynamically and end as this page starts. Is that possible? Not sure exactly what you mean, Johnny. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what you're saying is that you want to be able to. I think what you're saying is that you want to be able to. Let me just think on this. Let me make sure I understand. Are you saying you want the video to automatically play as soon as someone loads the website? If so, yes, that is possible. And that's actually very similar. It's very similar to the process of what I mentioned earlier about basically changing the way the YouTube video is displayed, in that you just basically add an extra line of code. I think it's just, you literally just put autoplay equals true in the embed code, and then it automatically starts playing as soon as someone loads the website. So if that's not what you meant, please post a follow-up question. I'll be happy to circle back around to that. But that's something that we could easily help you do throughout this process. Okay, so Ashley again says, is there a way to lessen the distance from the title at the top and the menu? It seems like it's further down than I'd like to see. Padding / margin between the title and the hero and the menu. So yes, Ashley, that is technically something you could do with CSS, but I would be very cautious to recommend it. And one of the reasons is because we want to make sure, because this is a one-page scrolling website where the menu actually follows you as you go down. And when someone first loads it, if the title is too close to the menu, then it's just not going to be as prominent, and it's not going to be, and the menu is sort of supposed to be secondary. So if the menu is right above the header, the first time someone loads it, the first thing they're going to really pay attention to is the menu. And so the spacing has been somewhat intentional, but that is something that we could consider changing with a feature request, or that'd be something that a little custom CSS could change the margins on that for sure. Okay, so Ashley asked about the demo reel. I think we already answered that question, which is about basically how do you remove the recommended videos at the end. Hey, Johnny Ray said, hey, instead of 3, can you make it 6 by duplicating the widget? Yeah, definitely. So if you're talking about, Johnny, if you're talking about the, which I think is what you're talking about the actual speaking topics, then yes, you can essentially, basically each row of speaking topics is 3, has 3 little sections, but you could easily just put more than one widget. And so you could easily have 6 or 9 or 12 different topics that you feature on your speaking website. No, I'd be cautious to recommend that, because I would say you want to be clear to people when they're looking at your website of how many of them, well, I mean, basically of what it is you offer them. And so it's best to be, an expert in some trades rather than a jack of all trades. But that said, yes, you can do that. You can add as many widgets as you like. Johnny also said, can the testimonials be videos? Yeah, actually, because the way we have it set up, I can jump back over and show you, but the way we have the theme set up right now, then essentially the testimonials are just like, they're just like blog posts. If you've ever written on WordPress before, use the same exact post editor, so you can embed video and stuff like that, without any other problems. Okay, so another question right here. Patty said, what if you have no testimonials yet? That is a great question. So on that one, what I would say is, if you have no testimonials yet whatsoever, then you can just leave the endorsements widget out. I mean, it's not required to have it. But what I would actually recommend is that you just get some. And that doesn't, if you're a new speaker, that doesn't mean that you have to make some up. What that means, though, and that doesn't mean you have to have one from Purdue University. What that means is you figure out, what is it that you teach on? What is the problem that you identify, the problem that you help solve? And so if, for example, you are let's just say that you are a nutrition expert and you're trying to do speaking about basically health, weight loss, and that kind of stuff. Well, find one person that you've helped, or just go out there and help one person, and then ask them to provide a 1 to 2 sentence description of what difference it made once you worked with them. And so you can put a testimonial endorsement on there that says something like, you know, working with Patty was the best experience ever. Would definitely do it again, right? And that's still an endorsement. That's still a testimonial, even if you're still new to speaking itself. Um, that said, you can leave the endorsement section out, but I do find that it is a lot more helpful, and the speaker websites convert a lot better when you have endorsements and testimonials of some kind. Basically, just as third-party proof that you know what you're doing. So, all right, let's see what other questions we have. Someone actually asks, when someone buys Podium, do they get lifetime updates for the theme? That is a great question, and that's actually a great time to transition over to talking about what I want to show you. I want to show you how we structure things a little bit differently when we sell WordPress themes. Um, so, okay, so while that's loading the sales page, I'm going to go ahead and just hit a button. You should see a big button appear beneath the live webinar in just a moment, if you don't already, that just says get your copy of Podium, and that's going to take you over to the sales page, and so you can check that out if you'd like. I'm going to keep talking, though, and explain this to you. So here we will see, that's not what we want. My apologies. We don't want the demo side. We want the actual sales page. So the short answer is yes, you get lifetime updates for the theme for Podium when you buy it. So what we do differently about WordPress themes with notable themes, one of the things we do differently is the fact that each of our themes is very niche specific, right? So this is a speaker website. This is just built for speakers. You can technically use it for other things, but it's not meant to be jack of all trades. It's meant to be a specialized WordPress theme. You've already seen you can customize it fairly easily. We always include video tutorial walkthroughs for every one of our products. But this is a big one, automatic updates for life. So most WordPress themes, and if you're new to WordPress, you may not know this, but I'm going to tell you now. Most WordPress themes or plugins, when you buy them, the price they tell you is actually an annual price, because when you buy them, you only get 1 year of updates and support. And so because of that, then they charge you every year to get more updates and support. So we want to do something different when we start notable themes. So what we've done is we've just essentially separated the product and the support as separate. So here on the sales page for Podium, you'll see that if you go down to to buy, for example, every single one of these levels, whichever one you buy at for Podium, includes a lifetime license for the theme. And that means that you get updates for life for as long as the product exists. You get updates and you can use it on one website without any extra fees forever. So short answer is yes, Ashley, when someone buys Podium, you do get lifetime updates for the theme. So this also ties into the question that somebody had earlier. Forgive me, I'm not sure. I think it was Mike who had a question about that. What we've done, the way we make this possible is the actual support. And by that, I mean kind of like personalized help and guidance about using specific customizations to the theme or specific setup and that kind of stuff. We do actually offer that as a separate product, and we call it Notable Care. You'll see there's a little ad for it right here. And Notable Care is our premium support service that not all of our customers get. Many of our customers choose to buy a theme and then use it on their own, figure it out, or use our knowledge base. We do have a bunch of articles on specific questions. If you go through that, then yes, you can technically do everything on your own while just using the theme, or you can buy Notable Care, where we actually have our support team give you personalized support on any and all questions about WordPress that you have. And every single one of these questions doesn't just have to be about our own products. It can be about WordPress in general, what plugin you should use, all that stuff. So Notable Care is an optional add-on. But as far as the core product, I do want to provide a little explanation of these three different levels. If you buy the first, one thing I will mention in just a moment, I'm going to tell you all about the bonuses that are currently available for launch week for Podium, including one bonus you only get if you buy the theme today while we're live on this workshop. So, but that said, let me give you the quick rundown on this. The first level of Podium is just $197, and that's if you buy just the theme by itself. So that means you have this website template to use on your own on one website. You shouldn't need more than one speaker website. On one website, you have this theme for life updates and all of that. Now, if you prefer to get a little bit more of hands-on help and support from us, you can get Podium Plus. And what this does is also includes the theme. You can use it on your own, but also means that our team will actually professionally install the theme for you on a WordPress website and do basic setup and configuration. So what this means is we'll send you a survey or an email asking you a couple questions, and we'll say, hey, what speaking topics do you use? Can you give us an example of a bio on you? Hey, do you have a headshot? And we'll literally go through the entire process that you just saw me do in this demo. We'll do it for you on your website and set up the website. So we'll just ask you a few questions about what information should go where, what's the link to your demo video, and then we will set up everything for you. And so you actually get, this is a stupid cheap price if you think about it. For $497, you get a website. Like, it's done. Everything is done for you. And then that's only possible because we've created a template that's so easy to use. So it doesn't take our team a massive amount of time to set up and customize that all for you. Now, in addition to that, we also offer Podium Pro as an optional third tier, and this includes everything I just mentioned, plus if you want any professionally designed header and site graphics. And so we partner with a company called Rightly Design, and that's where we actually get all of our design on our website. Our actual themes themselves are designed by Thomas, whose business is Rightly Design. You can actually get all of that, where you get the lifetime license of the theme, professional installation, basic setup and configuration, and then you get professionally designed header and site graphics from our designer, our professional designer. And so this also means that you don't have to worry about picking colors or typography, because he will consult with you about what types of emotions and what type of impression you want your brand to reflect. And from your answers to that question, he will actually select for you exactly which shades of which colors to use and which typography to fit your brand and style and match any logo or other site graphics you might need. So those are just an example of those 3 tiers there. And there's a couple other questions. Let me get to those, and then I'll circle back around to the bonuses. Okay. Ashley asks about Podium updates. I think we already answered that one. And yeah, okay. Actually, I think we already answered all these questions so far. Okay, here we go. Karen says, can you have multiple columns in your layout? So Karen, I think this kind of varies I think I understand what you mean, but this varies depending upon which section you're talking about. If you scroll down, you'll see, hey, most requested topics, this has 3 columns. Testimonials, this has 2 columns. There's actually 5 columns technically in the photo section. But this entire theme is designed to be responsive, and so that it changes based on the size of your screen. So you don't want the entire website to be 1 or 2 or 3 columns, and that's really intentional. So like, let's click on this, for example. You see, as I expand this, everything moves. If you go down and look at this 3-column section with the little topics right there, if someone's on mobile, for example, which is going to be really small, right? They're just going to see 1 per row. Now, this works well. This is designed to work well, but that wouldn't work as well if you had, say, for example, a 2-column about section. Instead, what you see is the photo at the top and then the bio. So that's why you don't really see multiple columns throughout the entire theme, and that's very intentional. Okay, so Baraka says, which hosting package do you recommend to purchase? And so that's a great question. Now, if you're new to WordPress, what you may not know is this website template, this WordPress theme, is something that it does not work by itself. It works with WordPress. Now, WordPress is free technically. It's a free platform for creating websites. And we're talking about self-hosted WordPress. What you do need is a host. And by that, I mean somewhere on the internet that holds your website for you and hosts it so that it's available online 24/7. In the old days, when you wanted a website, you would literally put a bunch of files on your computer and plug it into, quote, the internet. Okay, so scrolling up here to support, you'll see we actually offer hosting as an optional add-on. So if you just want to keep everything inside of Notable Themes, which really simplifies your life, we actually offer hosting as an add-on if you sign up as a Notable Care subscriber. Otherwise, you're welcome to use any other host. A lot of people have accounts already with things like Bluehost or Small Orange, but we only charge $5 a month extra for WordPress hosting, and then we actually manage it for you. And it's really that's a steal, but we only offer that to Noble Care subscribers. So there's more questions. I want to come back to those in just a second, but I want to make sure before we run out of time in case anybody has to leave that I tell you all about the bonuses that we're offering. So I'm going to jump back over to my screen real quick. So this week, this entire week, and by that I mean through this Friday night or tomorrow night at midnight, if you buy Podium at any level, you not only get everything we talked about, like lifetime access to use the theme on your own website, but because Grant's team with the Speaker Lab and us at the Notable Themes are partnering on the launch of this, we've put together a bonus package. Any of you, if you buy the theme this week, you get you get swipe copy. And by that I mean you get a document full of sample text for what to include on your website. Now, of course, you should change that. You should tweak it up a little bit to match your topic and your theme, but this should make the writing process of what actually goes on your website a lot simpler. So you also get a speaker themed stock photo bundle. And so when you get that photo section we're talking about, you don't want to put a bunch of little grainy, pictures you may have taken on your phone out a car window. You want things that are professional and reflect your expertise. And so we've got a collection of stock photos related to microphones and stages and crowds, speaker themed ideas that you get for free to use however you want. But of course, we recommend using them with the website itself. And then one other thing you get is you actually get a recorded interview that Grant did with Ray Edwards. Now, if you don't know Ray, Ray is a master copywriter. And by that, I means he writes sales pages and they convert like crazy. And so what he's done is he's actually done a recorded video interview with Grant did one with him, asking him all about not just how to write sales letters in general, but specifically what keywords, what trigger words to use, and how to write a speaker website that that books you speaking engagements. And so you get access to that video interview for free when you buy Podium. One other bonus I'll share, and this is one we are only offering live. If you buy the theme, if you've already bought the theme before now, or if you buy it today, right now, while we're live at any of the 3 levels, we're going to throw in an extra bonus. And this is from us at Notable Themes. And this bonus is that once you actually buy the theme and either set it up yourself or have our team help you set it up, I will personally go through and do a review of your website. I'll record myself going through your website and making comments on things you can change or improve, essentially doing a review / teardown of everything I love and everything I don't like about your website so you can make it better. So that can be a little intimidating at first, but what it does is it allows you to create a website that converts like crazy. So that's a live only bonus, but all the other bonuses you'll get those today. But you will also get those if you wait to buy the theme until tomorrow. But you won't get the website review or teardown if you wait to buy the theme until later. So that's any questions about the bonuses, of course, shoot those in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to pop back over some of these other bonuses about the product itself. Karen says, can you put in a link to another site such as Amazon for your book? And the answer is yes. And actually, let me show you how that works real quick. So if you go into the back end in this customizer, any of these places where you see a button, let's just use this big one, for example. If we wanted this to go somewhere else, for example, then we could just click in this drop-down menu. Instead of we can contact me, we would just click custom URL. And then a new box should appear that essentially lets us choose what URL to send people to, where you could actually send people to a link on Amazon. So you can use this to send anybody to any link on the internet. And now we default it to make it really easy to link to your own website. So people can click to jump around. So they can click down to share, to contact, and it just basically just naturally draws people to different sections of your website. But you can actually set up buttons that link to external websites. Okay. So somebody else said, Ashley said, what I did was send my demo reel. Oh, this was about good advice about testimonials. Okay. Ashley said that she sent her demo reel or a video for her speaking to some speaker peers in a group to get feedback. And then she used their feedback as testimonials. Like, if they said, for example, Ashley, you're a great speaker, you're excellent, then she could use some variation of that as a testimonial. So that's a great example right there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hang out for a few minutes for any other questions you have. But I do want to remind you that if you haven't already, you should go ahead and buy Podium if you want the full bonus offer. And we do offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. So we do that on all of our products, but that means that if you have any questions about, like if you're interested in buying Podium, but you're not quite sure it's going to do exactly what you want, then I would encourage you to go ahead and do it. Go ahead and get it. And then if for any reason you're not happy in the next 30 days, let us know and we'll happily give you 100% refund. We've created this to help you, not to steal money from you, but because we want to help you. And if you got a similar website custom designed by a WordPress developer, it would cost you anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000. And so we're asking $200. So it's a really small, and all that really does is offset our development costs and then bring a little bit of money back for our business. So we love to have you. Okay, let's see another question coming in. Patty said, "Hey, I already purchased. Can I get these bonuses?" And the short answer is yes. If you purchased Podium before today, if you're one of the people that either pre-bought Podium, or if you had bought, let's just say, like if you got Podium, but anyways, for any reason, if you have Podium before now, you will get the bonuses. We're planning to email all of those bonuses out first thing next week once everyone says promotion is ended. But if you need access to any of them before then, just go ahead and email hello@notablethemes.com. We'll be happy to go ahead and give you a jump start on those bonuses. Okay, so another question from Verdalus said, I tried to purchase the theme during the pre-launch at a different rate, but did not work. Was hoping that price would still be active here. I'm sorry, but there was a pre-launch promotion to specific customers of Grant, so people who already in booked and paid to speak, and he did do a pre-sale promotion to some of the students. But unfortunately, that promotion has passed. The promotional pricing is over and will never come back. 197 is the cheapest you will ever see this theme. So one caveat I will say though is that if you join Notable Care, our support service, we actually do offer essentially members only pricing. It's the only way we do discounts. Is if it's kind of like Amazon Prime, and that you pay to be a member, but then you actually get a discount off of, in their case, free shipping. In our case, you get slightly lower prices on everything. I'm not talking about like a massive discount. It is slightly less, but it helps if you're interested in doing any, basically if you're interested in having any plugins, themes, multiple products from us, because we also have plugins that can work well with your website. Okay, so a couple other questions came in. Rihanna said, "Hey, I had an appointment and missed the first half. Can you resend out the video?" Hey, Rihanna, yes, we're planning to do that. Actually, you can already go to notablethemes.com/replay, and that's where you'll find the replay of the video. Of course, you can do that as soon as I stop talking. Basically, while I'm talking right now, it's still a live video, but it'll immediately transition into a replay for anybody that missed. Another question was said, "Hey, wondered about adding music, video, or embedded sites like SoundCloud or Bandcamp because I'm a speaker who also does music. How easy can I integrate this and transfer from another current WordPress site?" That's a great question. I think the first thing I would say is definitely think about all of this, and that Podium is designed to be a one-page website. So if it makes sense to include on your speaker website, then great, do it. And then yes, you can import that pretty easily. If you're using something like SoundCloud or basically anywhere where you could embed the sound onto WordPress, you can do that on Podium. I showed you how to create a website using our own custom widgets we built, but you can actually also put in, essentially it's a text field that you can put whatever you want in it. So you can embed a video, you can embed audio, you can embed a slideshow, you can embed whatever you want, or you can just type a story. So you have a lot of options. It's really flexible. Cool. And Karen says, "Thanks for the demo. It's great to see how easy it is to create a speaker website using Podium." Thank you, Karen. I'm glad. I mean, the whole idea was to show you it is possible to do this in less than an hour because I just did it live. So that proves it. Another question was, do the bonuses end tomorrow? And the short answer is yes, most of them. So Friday night, which is tomorrow night at midnight Central, all of the bonus offers go away. Podium will still be for sale, but you won't see any cheaper and you won't get any bonuses. So the caveat to that is that there's one bonus that ends right now, or ends in the next few minutes. Basically, whenever we get off this live workshop, one of the bonuses going on right now is anybody who's bought before now, or anybody who buys now on this live workshop, gets a preview. Not a preview, but a review, a website review. So as soon as you launch your website, you will get a review teardown of me going through, recording myself going through your website, and giving you feedback on what words you're using, what pictures you're using, what videos you're using, what you can do to improve your speaker website to make sure that you're booking paid speaking engagements. So I hope that answers that question. All right. So another question here is, and now I'm looking at the live chat myself. So one question I have here is from Linda, says, "Hey, will this video be available after this 1 hour session is over?" And the short answer is yes, there will be a replay. This video is recorded. And if you do buy Podium, you can go back and actually reference this video anytime to watch me create the website. So you can copy each step if you'd like to do it yourself. We've done this before with other themes, and people found that really helpful. And some people refer back to the video over and over again as they tweak their website to make sure that, basically to make sure they understand fully how it works. Okay. And another question said, yes, I already answered that one. I think which said Patty said, "Hey, I already purchased. Can I get these bonuses?" Yes, and basically short answer is if you purchase the theme anytime before now, you'll get all the bonuses, including this live bonus. And if you purchase before tomorrow night at midnight, you'll get the other bonuses too. So any other questions? I'm happy to hang out for a few minutes. I'll sit here and drink my coffee, wait for any other questions to come in. And let me know like what's holding you back. I would love to know how we can make this a win for you because we want you to get booked. We want you to be successful. Our business grows when you're successful, and not before. So any other questions you have, I would love to know how we can help you. What's this? Yes, my mug does say notable themes. We care about the company. It's a good Yeti mug. That's all. Okay. I mean, I'm just going to look through the chat while I'm waiting for any other questions to come in. Yes, a couple people asked about, how we were doing this video, and it's on YouTube Live. Um, Great. Someone asked, am I 15 or am I 19? It's funny. I do get questions all the time about my age. So, yes, I am neither 15 nor 19. I'm 26. I'm married, have one kid who's 1.5. And then I have another kid who'll be here any day. My wife is currently 19 weeks pregnant. So, thanks for asking, Linda. I do get questions. I do have that youthful complexion that often makes people think I'm normally I get 14. So the fact that you thought I was 15, that's actually an upgrade. So I appreciate that. Great. Well, thank you guys for being here. Daniel said, Linda, you win. Best question. Well, thank you all for being here. And what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and jump off the video, but we're going to keep the live offer going. Currently, it's 2:10. We're going to keep the live offer going until 2:30, which means if you buy in the next 20 minutes, we're going to go like if you're, I know some people are going through the checkout process right now. We're not going to put a hard cutoff, like obviously, like if you're trying to get the bonus offer, we totally understand. So, if you buy, if within the next 20 minutes, we'll go ahead and offer the live bonuses. So just to remind you, that means that if you buy, not only will you get lifetime access to use Podium on your own website, but in addition to that, you will get full swipe copy you can use however you want to inspire you writing your speaker website. You will get a speaker-themed stock photo library, a recorded interview with Ray Edwards, all about how to write copy that sells your speaking services. Copy, I just mean by that, like, language, words, sales letter stuff, but on your website. And you'll also get a live live only bonus of a recorded review / teardown of your website as soon as you launch it. We'll record going through your website, giving you feedback on how you can improve it. And that's incredibly valuable. I hope you know, like, that's not something we give away for free very often because, or ever really, because it takes time and it takes really a lot of focus because we put a lot of effort into that. So one last question, I'll jump off from Sonia. She said, hey, does hosting include email? I think your question is actually tying back to Notable Care. If you buy our hosting service, it comes with our personalized support. And the way we set that up is we actually host your website, and we help you set up your domain, like your name, like, johnmeese.com or whatever, or soniaking.com, using a separate service that allows you to very easily manage email. So essentially, sort of, you can set it up that way, but at least in my opinion, I don't think you really want us to have control of your email. I mean, we try to stay out of the security aspect of that. So we just control, basically, like, we help you support your website, but we do keep something separate, like your email, for example. But we can easily help you, point you in the right direction to set that up. So, all right, that's all we have time for today. So if you have any other questions, of course, you can send an email to hello@notablethemes.com, and we'll be happy to help you out. And I'll look forward to serving you as part of the Notable Themes community. Thank you. Take care, guys.